Alright, conveniently, the game actually put the best two characters next to each other in the roster. So yeah, starting off, I would start off with Baraka because just the first to come in the roster, just to make it like chronological of OSU. Things I want to change to Baraka. First of all, I think both of these characters need nerfs. I would say it. I don't think anybody else in the roster needs nerfs other than these two. Like, substantial nerfs, they are the only one who really need big nerfs and no buffs whatsoever. But nerfs I would make to this character just to weaken them a little bit because they are too strong. Overhead of Baraka, I think it's fine as it is. This low should become a bit slower. I think they should make it like 16 or 17 frames on starter because this is his best combo starter. It leads to 57% with Cyrax, so just reduce how fast it is. Or they could just not do it and just nerf his damage because his damage should get nerfed 100%. Baraka does too much damage. His damage should get nerfed on block and on hit for sure. But regardless, just talking about that, this move, I feel like this could stay as it is right now. If they nerf this, just make it slower. If they do it, I don't mind if it stays as it is right now. I really don't. It could stay as it is. It's still extremely powerful, but it's not too broken in my opinion to just warrant nerfs right now. Next up, we have the really big stuff I want to see nerfed about this character. First of all, chip damage. Its chip is too big. Like, the nerfs they could make for this character just nerf Cyrax, honestly. Like, if they nerf Cyrax, I feel like they could nerf this character, but I don't want to see Cyrax really nerfed because Cyrax is so good for the rest of the roster as well. Like, he makes other characters shine, so I feel like Cyrax could stay the best cameo in the game. I don't mind that as long as Baraka just gets nerfed because they synergize too well together. What would I make for this change? First of all, chip. This should do less chip. Much less. Much less chip. And I would also make this ending in mid. Reason why I would make it as ending in mid? So you can actually duck under it. And actually no. Keep it over and just reduce the chip. Instead of making it like 6% of the enemy's HP on chip, make it so it does, I don't know, 2%, 3%, that would be much better and much more balanced. Like, because this character, look at how much chip I can do, man. It's just ridiculous when I'm using Cyrax. Like, I could go it again. I pretty much can do 25 to 30% of the other HP for chip without even spending my bar. So that's just stupid. And if they are bleeding, it gets up to like 50. I don't mind the chip damage when they're bleeding because it's very tough to set up, honestly. Like, if this shit was a restand, then holy crap, hell no, nerf the chip when they bleed. But I don't mind the chip being extremely high when they bleed because they should nerf this chip regardless, like normally. But yeah, I would nerf his chip damage and this 50-50 a little bit, just tweak them around. And finally, the change I would make most for this character is just damage, just make his damage lower, like. But man, this is not okay. This is not okay. This is too much. He can get 52% for one bar if you do the combo optimally. 52% for one bar. Keep in mind, we are talking about a character that can do 30-35% on chip damage without spending bar, and has very tough to react to 50-50s. Yeah, no, just no, man, no. The damage is way too high. They should tweak it out so he does 40% for one bar, like a combo like this. This one. Sorry, I dropped it. This shouldn't do 50, it should do 40. Around 40, 42, I would take. 42, the maximum amount I would give this character. I think he should sit around 40 for one bar at maximum, because that's already extremely good damage, and this character is way too good on the mix-ups to have such good damage. And its 2-bar combo should be like 50 at max. That's it. So guys, that's pretty much it. I don't think Baraka needs much more. I still think even with these nerfs, he would stay top 2. And considering the nerfs I think Kenshi needs, I think he would actually stay number 1 maybe. But just nerf his damage, man. That's the main critique I have for this character. The reward he gets for how good he is on the mix-ups is just ridiculous. It's completely busted, beyond broken. This is just not fair damage. It shouldn't be this way. I know most people just disagree with like me calling for nerfs like less than 2 weeks after the game released. Actually, I think it's been just a bit over 2 weeks. Yeah, it's been just a bit over 2 weeks, like 16 days, I'm pretty sure. But regardless, his damage is too high. I think we can all understand that. He is a one-touch character. He doesn't mix one time, it then lands a hit on you one time and you die. The game is over. So just know, man, his damage is too good. It really is just too good. Nerf the damage and this character would still be extremely good. Pretty much still broken, but just not as broken. Right now it just feels like nobody competes with him, honestly. Other than Kenshi, I don't think he has competitors, honestly. It's that much of a difference, man. So yeah, that's it for Baraka. I do think he needs quite a bit of nerfs because he's way too good right now, but yeah. Moving on, Kenshi. His mobility for some reason feels like it's the best in the game. Like, except for Nitara. His mobility is extremely good. Like, block dashing with this guy just feels so much faster compared to the rest of the roster, honestly. What did I want to do? Center, right. There we go. Yeah, mobility is very good. Changes I will make to him. Reduce the range on this and on this. The range on this one is way too good, in my opinion. I am a Kenshi main, keep in mind. I would love for this character to stay number 1 in the game. I love him. He's pretty much my main along with Johnny, but I am no blind. No pun intended, I'm not blind. I can see this character is way too good. So yeah, this mid nerfs the range. I don't mind them being mids, but for how fast they are, this range is completely stupid. The range is insane. Insane. So yeah, this is the nerfs I would give him just outside of Cento. And Demon Drop. Demon Drop, in my opinion, should just recover a bit slower. Like, you can just spam this shit back to back like this so easily on hit. Actually, when they block it, it's not that bad, so they could keep it as it is. I don't really mind. It's the best projectile in the game, don't get me wrong. It's by far the best zoning tool in this entire game. I'm dying for this Tenten. It is by far the best zoning tool, for sure. But I don't think it needs substantial nerfs. I don't think it's there. Outside of Santo, that's pretty much it, man. This character is not broken by any means except for these 2 mids. These are the best 2 mids in the entire game. They're extremely fast and they have too much range. If they want to keep the mids and keep their speed, just reduce the range. If they want to keep the range, make them slower. That's the change I would make. I don't think they should become highs because if you make it highs, you kill this character. Honestly, I don't think this will kill the character because the main tool he has to get into Santo is his mobility. Very good mobility. Fishing for a whiff punish with his mid. Going into a freeze and then into Santo. If you make these mid highs, you kill the character, in my opinion. I don't think he'll even be top 5 if you make these moves high and make them slow. So keep the mids, just remove the range a little bit. Like, just reduce it, tune it down. It can reach from here, like from here pretty much. Make it reach from here. That's from here is okay. Back 2 could actually stay as it is, like in range. A bit less, instead of reaching all the way from here, like make it reach like from here. That's okay. Forward 2, it should reach like from here. Anything other than that, it's too much for me, in my opinion. What else there? Oh, of course. Next up, let's talk about the rabbit in the hat, you could say. Santo. Nerf. Good lord, it is broken. Now, Santo shouldn't get nerfed to the ground, don't understand me wrong. The nerfs I would make for this are actually damage nerfs. That is where I will stop. I don't think the stance itself needs any other nerfs. I think damage nerfs is okay, but just the amount of damage you can do with Santo combos. Why does this drop right now? I don't know what the fuck it drops. I think it's because it's an auto. The boss can block it for some reason. As you can see, I don't want to kill this character, don't get me wrong. I do say I want him to stay top 5, honestly. I don't want him to kill him, to nerf him to the ground, because Santo still has its drawbacks and this character still has weaknesses. Don't get me wrong, he has weaknesses, but I do think the damage should get nerfed a little bit. Like, the combo I just did shouldn't be 45%. It should peak at around 40. That's it for it, honestly. I don't think they should nerf it anymore. Now, like, again, look at the damage, it's too high, man. It really is. This combo I dropped it, but it does 40. Around 40, so these two combos together do 85%. And you normally get these two back to back. So yeah, that's it for the puppet nerfs, honestly. I do feel like it's okay as it is right now if they nerf the damage. The damage is too high. This combo that starts from this should peak at around 30% in my opinion. 30-35 maximum. And the combo where you go into center sets from a freeze, it should go to max 45%. Because you don't spell bar with this character. You really don't. And next up, another thing. This special, it should do 15%, not 18. 18 is too much in my opinion. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the nerfs for the puppet itself. Now, moving on to the other nerfs of Centaur that I think is much makes this character so broken. This normal and this normal, they need to become slower, that's for sure. This one is 16 and this one is 13. If you don't know how frame data works, 16 frames is pretty much, I'm pretty sure it's basically the limit of reactable moves. Like, 16 is borderline unreactable, and 13 is completely unreactable. If you're blocking high and then somebody did a 13 moves, you can react. If you didn't just expect it to what's coming, like, you can't react to it in time, it's too fast. So yeah, I would nerf a bit, just the speed. Like this, I would make it like 18, 19, and this I will make it around 15. That way you can just block low, and then just switch to high on reaction. But right now you just have to guess, man. It's just a guess, man. You can't react to 16 and 13 frame moves, it's just not possible to do it. So yeah, honestly, man, that's pretty much it. That's the worst I would do to Kenshi. Now I'm a bit biased because I'm a Kenshi main. I do think he will surpass Baraka if I make these changes. Actually, Baraka might stay better than him if they don't nerf his frame data and just nerf only his damage, but I think the only nerfs Kenshi needs is for this normal is outside of Centaur stance mid, just make them go less far, and just make his damage a bit weaker when he goes into Centaur. That's pretty much it, man. I don't want to nerf this character anymore. I feel like if they nerf him anymore, I think he'll just become weaker. Significantly weaker, because the whole power of this character is just getting a hit going into Centaur and finishing the match there. If you don't finish the match after when you go into Centaur, you can actually be in the tough situation. So yeah, I do think he should stay as is right now. He should stay as oppressive on the mix. He should stay very, very powerful on mix with like 50-50 mix-ups, but they should be reactable. Like, just make him reactable by pro players, I mean, because right now just even pros can react to the mix in Centaur stance. It's that stupid. So yeah, that's it. I don't think you need to touch Kenshi anymore. Moving on.